happening with that. Mark Dubowitz is the executive director of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's also head of the FDD's Iran energy program as well, knows a whole lot about sanctions, which is why he's the person to talk to about this. Mark, so what is the reality? Because we obviously don't have access to go travel to Iran, see what the average Iranian is experiencing with these sanctions. What are they doing to Iran?
Hi, Jenna. The sanctions are certainly hurting the Iranian economy. The inflation is up and unemployment is up and Iranian oil revenue is down. And so it's clear that the Iranian regime is facing some pretty serious economic difficulties. But here's something that most people don't know. The Iranian regime has $80 billion sitting in overseas bank accounts that it can use to buy food and medicine and other humanitarian goods without any restrictions. It's actually not spending that money. Somebody should ask President Rouhani why he's not spending billions of dollars of unrestricted funds to buy food and medicine for his people.
So if that's the case, are the sanctions being effective, though, in stopping the pursuit of nuclear weapons?
Well, they haven't certainly slowed down Iran's nuclear program, but they've been very successful in getting Iran to the table and to take these sanctions very seriously. There's no doubt that President Rouhani and Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei would be at the table but for sanctions. Sanctions are hurting the economy, and they're putting the regime's survival at some risk. That's why they want to negotiate. That's why they're there. So
where do we go from here then, Mark? We understand there's going to be a big meeting tomorrow between Secretary Kerry and his counterpart, his Iranian counterpart. We just talked to Congressman Royce yesterday, who passed another round of sanctions in the House, but it's stuck in the Senate. So where is there to go? Where should we be going to keep the pressure on Iran?
The most important meeting that's going to occur this week is not tomorrow or Thursday. It's actually Friday, when the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, sits down with Iran and asks Iran and Mr. Rouhani to come clean on Iran's past nuclear weaponization activities. If Iran does not come clean and admit that it's been engaged in mendacious cheating for decades in building nuclear weapons, then we need to actually move forward with more punishing sanctions that send a message to this regime and this supreme leader that he will lose his regime unless he compromises on his nuclear program.
I only have about 30 seconds here, Mark, but how long do we continue down the sanctions path before raising the same question about whether or not this continues to still buy the regime time to pursue nuclear weapons?
We have to make a decision very soon whether there's a negotiated agreement to be had or not, because in less than 10 months, by June 2014, Iran will be at the point where they'll be able to break out to a nuclear weapon without being detected by the International Atomic Energy Agency or Western intelligence. They will be at undetectable breakout, which means they at that point could break out to a bomb at a time of their choosing, or they could flip the leverage on the international community, negotiate for massive sanctions relief, got the oil flowing, the economy stabilized, and when they decide that they want to, they can have a bomb and a powerful economy at the same time. That will be deadly for American national security. We have very little time to stop them.
Interesting to note that timeline, because that would mean by the UN meetings next year, we would be in such a different place. Mark, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenna.